So welcome to all of you Shiksha 360, and today basically we will discuss one concept, and on the basis of that we will discuss one question that is basically mentioned in your booklet. And in the examination, basically most of the time basically we will expect the same question in the examination basically which we have discussed or basically which is available in the book. Clear? So let's start our discussion. Welcome to all of you Shiksha 360 once again, and this is basically chapter number 10, that is of BFM. And in that basically we have to discuss today, that is haircut concept. Clear? Haircut concept. Clear? So what is the meaning of haircut? Basically in general language we can say that, like, just basically we will take the example of a loan, just a simple example. Like basically we have a loan of rupees 100 crore and the person defaulted that loan, and the person or the borrower or the person defaulted that loan. So what will happen here? So as per some laws, sometimes what will happen, that is one time settlement, OTS, one time settlement will be done. So in that basically bank has offered some another amount to the customer to pay so that account can be settled. Clear? So that account can be settled. Clear? Like basically here we have taken 100 crore and the bank will say that basically you will pay 10% of that, that is 10 crore, and we will settle the account. Settle the account. So that 90 crore is the amount we can say that write-off. So that is in simple language, in technical language, that is 90% haircut. The amount basically we are waived here or write-off here, that is to be considered general as a haircut in simple language. Similarly, on the loan, if any customer basically comes in the bank, like basically for taking the gold loan, and presently the rate on the gold in the market is 55,000 per gram, and bank giving the loan of 1 gram is rupees 40,000. Clear? And the bank gives basically 1 gram gold loan. Basically how much amount basically bank can lend on 1 gram, that is rupees 40,000. Clear? Here there is basically 15,000 bank will take as a, we can say that, risky one. Clear? That is sometimes basically in the market the value of the gold comes down. Clear? So basically we have to take some another value. Clear? As per the laws of the bank. Clear? Or as per the guidelines of the bank. Clear? That is also we can say that basically haircut. Clear? That is also haircut on the collateral. Haircut on collateral. So please tell fast. It is clear to all of you what we have discussed till now. What is the basic meaning of haircut? Please respond fast. As other terms basically we have to start discussing. Please tell fast if you have any doubt, any query. Hope it is clear to all of you what is the general meaning of the haircut. Clear? Even you will get sometimes basically question on the base these things also. Clear? Not basically we will expect always typical questions. Clear? Sometimes basically this type of question you will also expect in the examination. Now move to the next one here. This is the thing which is given in the book, haircut concept, but we have to discuss in some another way. So calculation of capital requirement. Clear? Basically what we have to do here, basically calculation of the capital requirement. So for a collateralized transaction, the exposure amount after risk mitigation, or we can say that after eliminating the risk, how we can calculate that one? Basically E star is equal to maximum of either of 0 or this one value or this one value. Clear? So how we can reach of this one value, we have to take care. How basically we have to go to or calculate this value. So what is the E star here? That is the exposure value after risk mitigation. E is basically the current value of the exposure for which the collateral qualifies as a risk mitigant. That is, we have a 100 crore, value of collateral is 50 crore. Clear? Like this one, clear? Current value of the exposure basically for which the collateral qualifies as a risk mitigant, that is 50 crore. HE basically haircut appropriate to the exposure. Clear? Basically haircut appropriate to the exposure. C is basically current value of the collateral received, that is here 50 crore. HC, that is how much we have applied haircut on the collateral. Clear? Haircut appropriate to the collateral. And HFX, that is we are giving loan in the, we can say that in the rupee or in the Indian currency, and the collateral basically in other foreign currency. Clear? Or in any other currency. HFX, that is haircut appropriate for currency mismatch between the collateral and the exposure. Clear? Between the collateral and the exposure. Now we have to discuss one by one regarding all these terms. Let's start basically what is the meaning of all these terms. So we have already discussed exposure. Exposure is basically how much basically we are giving a loan, like is 100 crore. So collateral, that is security. So how much is the collateral against that exposure? Clear? Against that exposure. Clear? What is the collateral against that exposure? Now move to the next one, which we have to discuss here. That is all the important points. First one we have to discuss here, that is this one point, HFX. One by one we have to discuss HFX. So HFX basically here we can say that haircut on Forex, or we can say that Forex or foreign currency. That is basically just basically for understanding. Clear? FX generally basically we will FX for Forex. Clear? FX for Forex. Clear? So basically what is the meaning of that? We have exposure, collateral. Two things we have. We know that when the exposure and the collateral are in different currencies, then there is a role of FX, HFX. Otherwise, if exposure is in rupees, collateral also is in rupees, then HFX is equal to 0. If exposure is in dollar and collateral is in dollar, then HFX 0. Okay. Third one, if exposure is in dollar and collateral is in rupees. So here what will happen? Both the exposure and the collateral currencies are different. Both the exposure and the collateral currencies are different. So in that case, HFX is equal to 0.08. Clear? So in that case, HFX is equal to 0.08, or in simple language, we can say that HFX is equal to 8%. Clear? Either we can say that 0.08 or 8 upon 100, or in simple language, we can say that 8%. Clear? So this is the value of the HFX. Just you have to remember that when there is different currency, just take HFX is equal to 0.08. And if the exposure and the collateral basically are in the same currency, then HFX is equal to 0. Clear? In that case, HFX is equal to 0. Next factor which we have to discuss here, that is MF. MF basically stands for maturity factor. On the basis of that, we have to discuss one question also in this session. Maturity factor, what is the meaning of that? Maturity, basically we can say that maturity of any exposure or any collateral. Clear? Maturity here basically maturity either of the exposure or of the collateral. So let's discuss regarding that. What is the meaning of that? Like here, we have exposure. Here we have collateral. Okay. So the maturity of the exposure, 3 years. And the maturity of the collateral is also 3 years. Like this, we can say that you have a fixed deposit. Okay. So against which we are taking the exposure. Clear? So collateral having maturity is 3 years. On the basis of that, exposure is also having tenure is a 3 year. Clear? So here, the tenure of the exposure and the collateral is same, or there is no maturity mismatch. So when there is no maturity mismatch, in that case, MF is equal to 1. Clear? Basically, in that case, MF is equal to 1. What will happen if there is maturity mismatch? If there is maturity mismatch, in that case, what will happen? Like we can say that exposure is 4 year, collateral is. So in that case, basically there is a formula to calculate MF. So what is the formula for that is T minus 0.25 upon T minus 0.25. Here small t basically represent the tenure of the collateral and capital T basically represent the tenure or the maturity time of the exposure. Clear? Of the maturity time of the exposure. And one thing basically we have to note here, this formula is applicable only. This formula is applicable only when the maturity mismatch, is more than 1 year. When the maturity mismatch is more than 1 year. On the other side, if the maturity mismatch is less than 1 year, okay, here maturity is same. Here maturity mismatch is more than 1 year. And if what will happen if the maturity mismatch is less than 1 year, then MF is equal to 0. Clear? Then MF is equal to 0. Clear? So please remember all these points while solving the question. Clear? Please remember all these points while solving the question so that you are able to answer the question when they will ask theoretical based question on the basis of this concept. So please tell fast. Up to this much point is clear. Now only one thing we have left here. How to calculate? Clear? How to calculate that one? Okay. So we see here. This one is the formula they have given. Okay. This one is the formula they have given. But we have to discuss some questions, some concept before that. And I will tell you, we have to calculate C star. We have to calculate C star. What is the C star here? C star is generally represented as haircut adjusted collateral value. Clear? Haircut adjusted collateral value. Haircut adjusted collateral value. And that C star generally we will take it as C into 1 minus HC minus 1 HF into MF. So that we have to find that E star, that is haircut adjusted exposure. Haircut adjusted exposure. So that is basically how we can find that. That is equal to maximum of 0 or E minus C star. E here is that is exposure. E here that is exposure, clear? And HC that is haircut on collateral. It has to be provided in the examination. What is the percentage of haircut basically for that specific case? Clear? For that specific case, clear? For that any specific, we have basically like we can say that basically for the fixed deposit, for the gold loan, for the security, either it is to be A rated, triple A rated, double A rated, clear? So it depends upon case to case, clear? It depends upon case to case. What is the haircut basically for specifically that security? Now there are basically some different things they have given. So determining the allowable reduction, clear? So how much reduction basically we can do here? So there are two cases. First one is the deposits under lien, clear? Deposits under lien, like we can say that like on the fixed deposit, clear? Like on the fixed deposit, clear? So what is the allowable reduction under that? What is the allowable reduction under that? That is, we can say that C star. That is haircut on the collateral. Okay. So exposure computed basically in the terms like deposits under lien or approved financial collaterals. So first one here, deposits under lien. That like basically we can say that like is TD, that is term deposit. So in the case of loans and advances secured by the bank deposits under lien, allowable reduction in exposure to determined using the following formula. Clear? We have write our formula, what we have written, C star is equal to C into 1 minus SC, HC, HFX into MF. This is the formula we have written here. Same thing I have written here. But here they have written that is some different thing. That is C into 1 minus HF into MF. Clear? So how they will reach that formula? We know that on the fixed deposit, there is not any, you can say that what is the, there is not any haircut, clear? There is not any haircut, clear? So that is SC is equal to 0. In that case, HC is equal to 0, clear? Because we have to not deduct anything on that. SC is equal to 0 in that case, clear? For lien, HC is equal to 0. Just basically they have put the value here 0. So C is allowable reduction is equal to C into 1 minus HF into MF. Subject to a maximum of exposure amount, clear? Subject to a maximum of exposure amount, clear? That is C star is equal to maximum of the exposure amount, clear? So where allowable reduction is more than amount of exposure, so allowable reduction would equal to the amount of exposure, clear? That is basically maximum to the exposure amount. Here C, what is C is value of the bank deposit, HFX, that is it is 0 if exposure and collateral are in the same currency, and it is basically HFX is equal to 0.08 if the collateral and exposure are in the different currency. And MF, that is maturity factor, clear? MF, that is maturity factor, clear? So approved financial collaterals, clear? Here they have written the full formula, that is C into 1 minus SC minus HF into MF, clear? So let's discuss. Here they have written one more factor, HE, clear? HE, that is haircut appropriate to the exposure, clear? Mostly if in any question they have given that value, so we have to use that formula. Otherwise, in most of the cases basically which we have given in the book, clear? That is the questions provided in the group where they have HE is equal to 0, clear? Because they have not given anything regarding that. So basically we will consider it to be 0. If they have given anything regarding that, so basically we will use this formula, clear? Rest everything is the same here, clear? Rest everything is the same here. So let's discuss one question on the basis of that to understand the concept, what they are trying to say here. So the question here that is given in the book, clear? This is the example 1. So please go through the question very carefully so that you are able to understand that point. First of all, I will request to please tell fast what we have discussed regarding the formula till now. It is clear to all of you regarding all the points. Now here basically we will try to discuss the example to understand the concept more. So here what they are saying that exposure is of rupees 100 lakh and exposure is of rupees 100 lakh is backed by a financial collateral. Clear, it is backed by a financial collateral of that is collateral is basically of A plus debt security. Clear, of A plus debt security. For that basically I will say that HC is equal to 6%. For that I will say that basically HC is equal to 6%. Clear, in the examination basically they will given that value, that is basically haircut on the collateral. Clear. So an exposure of rupees 100 lakh is backed by a financial collateral of A plus debt security of rupees 30 lakh issued by others. So I will write here that is exposure is equal to 100 lakh and collateral 30 lakh. So one thing we have cleared, that is this one is also lakh, this one is also lakh. That is both the exposure and the collateral. Both the exposure and the collateral are in the same currency. Both the exposure and the collateral are in the same currency. So HFX is equal to 0. HFX is equal to 0 here. Okay. The tenure of the exposure, the tenure capital T, we can say that here 3 years, and small t, that is residual maturity of the financial collateral, is 2 years. Small t is equal to 2 years. Okay. What we have to find, that basically we have to find that the net exposure, we can say that E star we have to find. Okay. So first of all, there is not any currency mismatch. HC we have given, I will tell you that is 6%. So first of all, we have to find that E star. This one is our requirement. E star is equal to maximum of either 0 or E minus C star. Okay. So our motive is to find the C star. How we can find the C star? Write it here, formula. C star is equal to C into 1 minus HC minus HFX into MF. Okay. Here we have to find the calculate MF. First of all, I will calculate here MF. We know that MF is equal to T minus 0.25 upon capital T minus 0.25. Small t here we have given, that is 2 years. Small t here we have given, that is 2, and capital T here we have given, that is 3. Okay. So please tell fast what is the value of MF. What is the value of MF? That is 2 minus 0.25 upon 3 minus 0.25. Here we have got 1.75 divided by 2.75, which we will get here 0.636. So put the value here. C here is, that is collateral here is 30 lakh. Write it here. 1 minus HC, that is 6%. We will write here 0.06. HF is equal to 0 minus 0 into 0.636. So 30 minus 0.94 into 0.636. 0.636 into 0.94 into 30, which we will get here 17.9352. They have given in the question, clear, they have give you in the question, that is value, basically haircut on the collateral security. Here basically A plus debt security they have given you, that is 6%. Clear, no need to worry regarding that. Clear, no need to worry regarding that. Okay. No need to worry regarding that. So here we will, this one 17.9352. Okay, we will approximate it as per the book, that is 17.95. Clear, 17.95. Okay, as they have calculated in the running way. Clear, not in the simple like 0.636. They will calculate in the running way. Clear? Like that is 2 minus, sorry, 1.75 divided by 2.75 into 0.94 into 30. Clear? So we will get here like is 17.945. Okay, so we will consider it approximately 17.95. Clear? 17.95. Clear? This is the value of C star. In the next case, clear, in the next point, what we have to calculate here, that is E star. That is maximum of 0 or E minus C star. So maximum of 0, E here is 100 minus 17.95. So 100 minus 17.95. So maximum of 0 minus 82.505. So what is the value of the net exposure? Net exposure qualifying, clear, net exposure basically qualifying. Here it is to be 82.05 lakhs for capital adequacy. Clear? Basically for what? For capital adequacy. Here just what you have to do, just you have to remember the formula and some basic points. Clear? What is HFX? What is MF? What is HC? Clear? And how to calculate. Clear? How to calculate all these things. So this is the basic discussion of the haircut. Clear? Of the haircut. Clear? That is, these are the different types of questions basically you will get on the basis of the haircut. Clear? And we will take some another session on the haircut with the different questions. Okay. Please tell fast if you have any doubt, any query. I will repeat this question again. Here they have given the exposure, collateral. First of all, we will check that whether the currency is the same or not. Clear? Whether the currency is the same or not. Clear? As I am repeating again and again, HC they will give you in the question what is the value of the haircut on the collateral. Clear? You no need to have calculate regarding that. They will provide you the value. Okay. What you have to calculate in the examination, HFX basically you also not need to calculate. If the currency are same, it is to be 0. Otherwise, it is to be 0.08. Just basically what you have to calculate in the examination, that is MF. Maturity factor, that is T minus 0.25. T here, that is basically of the, sorry, T here basically that is of the collateral, and capital T here that is of the exposure. This is also of the tenure, and this is MF. I will repeat here. MF is equal to 0 if the tenure maturity mismatch is less than 1. MF is equal to this one if it is greater than 1. Clear? If it is greater than 1. Clear? And MF is equal to 1 if there is no maturity mismatch. Clear? If there is no maturity mismatch. Clear? Which we have already discussed here. Where? I think this place. Okay. Just you have to remember these things. And on the basis of that, we are able to calculate the question. Clear? On the basis of that, we are able to calculate the question. Okay. So in this session, we have to discuss up to this much point. And I request you once again, please go through the session once again so that you are able to understand all the points. Clear? So that you are able to understand all the points. Thanks to all of you for joining this session.